Yeah.
Once you position yourself, and then reposition the light.
Oh, okay. The other way then, right?
Yeah.
Did you get the video over?
Yeah, the second one is very jittery.
Oh, is it?
There's one.
Set one.
Yeah, I've got a 2 volts. This has to go across somewhere.
Huh?
One's across here. That is. This has to go along the bottom. First. That one. That is across the bottom. I think it's,
The leg go in here then.
yeah, I can only see one leg.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, you
I've
got one.
Oh, right, okay.
There we go. So that's what you need.
No, hang on. They look like they go in. Right.
No, that's this one was, you know. Yeah.
play though. Because
I'm going to do this. Try it.
Hey,
It's all really exciting, isn't it?
that's great, I think. You know, the message is a young girl from Carmarthen, two young girls from Carmarthenshire can go on to it. So any one of these can do that. Follow your dreams.
Even you and me. Even you and me.
so proud. Welcome all. I can see absolutely nothing. Welcome, my name is Carl Daniels and I'm from the Cardiff County Council, Manufacturing Sport and Leisure. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today, and it's an absolute pleasure to be fair. There's a lovely round of applause if you want to be there, and probably never hear it. That was just a warm-up, because the two people that you're going to give the biggest round of applause for are the air walk through the doors, to keep those hands and keep those fingers ready to explode this film itself. So we gather here today for a very unique celebration, the welcoming home of two athletes that have risen to the absolute pinnacle of their sport. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Emma Finnegan, European, World and Olympic champion, and Jess Roberts, World champion and Olympic bronze medalist from Carmarthen and from Carmarthenshire. What these ladies have done in the world of cycling is nothing short of remarkable. I'm now going to get somebody who's going to run a question and answer session with these girls so that you can get to know them far, far better. So I'm going to welcome to the stage Rodri Goma-Davis.
Well, croeso cynnes I chi gyd, a very warm welcome to you all here to QE High, and welcome also to those tuned in at home, of course, to the live stream. We are, as Carl mentioned there, here to celebrate the outstanding achievements of two local girls from here in Carmarthenshire who've gone on to conquer the world. Now, there's been no shortage of sporting talent, of course, coming through the ranks in Carmarthenshire over the years. In particular, rugby, of course, but it's as if cycling has overtaken rugby in recent years. A conveyor belt of talent has come through of the likes of Scott Davis, Man Lloyd, and more recently, of course, the exploits of Emma Finnegan and Jess Roberts. But this year, in particular, has seen those two young ladies rise to the top of the track cycling world, decorated in both Olympic and World Championship medals of every colour and every description. So here's a quick recap of their golden year.
Big turn from Josie, right on the front for Great Britain. Still she leads them now. They're dead level, nothing in it here. It's Great Britain down the back straight. It's going to be close. It's advantage Great Britain. And it will be a bronze medal. There will be a place on the podium. 4:06.38 to the time. This was about the time. It was about getting over the line in first place ahead of the European champions Italy. And that's exactly what they've done. By Grace, a bronze medal for Great Britain, won by Eleanor Barker, Josie Knight, Anna Morris and Jessica Roberts.
Some style. What was going through your minds as you were watching these Olympics tumble everywhere?
Honestly, we worked really hard on it tonight. I got it and I had all the processes first, really, really key. Like, we nailed our final, and I believe that before we went up, what we can do is actually execute like lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, like, really goes perfectly, and then short line picks up, like, no way, no way. You just do like, do this, it's like 10 years old, and how these two are outside is being unreal.
Yeah, what an incredible year it's been. Please give a warm welcome, a warm QE High welcome. Do you get greeted like that everywhere you go nowadays? Or?
No.
In all seriousness, Jess, it's been an incredible year for both of you. Sum it up for us.
It's quite hard to sum up really. It's like, yeah, been crazy, like honestly the best year ever. And yeah, so me and Emma lived together in Manchester and like experienced that all with her. It's been really special and to come back here to where it all started for us is really nice. And yeah, I just can't quite believe the year that we both had really.
Yeah, it's been a busy year, and we are very grateful, of course, that you've made the effort, made the time, found the time to come back to Carmarthen, so we can honour you as you deserve to be honoured. Has life changed very much for you, Emma? Have you been invited on trip yet, or?
I guess life after the Olympics, I think for both of us, you don't realise how we're in our little bubble and we're riding our bikes and we're doing what we love, and then when you come out of it, you realise how many people watch it and how many people you inspire, and yeah, it's the world's biggest event, and I think afterwards I've had a few opportunities which has been really special and I've loved every part of it, and I think for us, we're both Welsh, we both come from Wales and we're both really proud to be from Carmarthen, and I think both our feet are still on the ground and we're still Emma and Jess, but yeah, it's been great to have these little opportunities and like meet new people, and we want to use our platforms to inspire people like you guys to get on a bike because we love it and I think it's such a great sport.
It is fantastic. We love it. Now, the format for this afternoon, we've had some questions sent in from local schools from around Carmarthenshire. But I thought before we get into that, I know you specialise in different disciplines. Jess, describe exactly what your discipline is on track.
So yeah, so I'm track endurance, so the longer races on the track. And yeah, so my main event is Team Pursuit, which is 4 riders, and basically the fastest time over 4K are the winners. So yeah, it's still quite a short event, but it's classed as endurance. Yeah, it's quite an exciting race. Yeah, you go against 2 teams on the track. Yeah, so that's like my main event, and then there's also like lunch races as well.
And obviously, Wales have some good pedigree when it comes to these Team Pursuit races, like Geraint Thomas and Owain Gould, decorated gold medalists as well.
Yeah, like a lot of big riders come from Wales, and actually 3 of us in the Team Pursuit were Welsh. So we have a strong contention of Welsh riders in our GB squad.
Now, Emma, you don't have the same level of endurance.
No.
Well, you're more the short sharpers.
Yeah, so my event, I'm a track sprinter, so shorter than Jess's event. We're quite punchy riders. I think my longest event is the Kieran, which is a 6-rider event. You go behind a motorbike, and I think it's 6 laps, so it probably takes about 2 minutes. That's my longest event. But yeah, so we won gold in Paris in the team sprint, which is similar to the Team Pursuit, I guess. It's a timed event. There's 2 teams on the track, and it's the fastest team across the line. But instead of peeling back onto the rider like Jess's team does, we actually leave the track. So the first woman will do the first lap, and then the second person, and then I'm the last rider, and I'll finish across the line. And that's my main event. I love that event. I love being part of a team. It's such a different dynamic. And then the individual events are the Kieran, like I said, and the sprint, where I got 2 bronze. So yeah, they're really fun events, and I love sprinting. I also love watching the endurance events too. Yeah.
Now, the first question is from Soderwen in Carmarthen, and the question is, should I teimlo like sadly in the game or live by? Hang on, don't worry, let the translation. Don't panic. What does it feel like to compete in the Olympic Games? And for me, was it always the dream to compete at that level?
Yeah, I think for me, it's always been a dream as a cyclist. I started cycling when I was 8 years old, and I love the sport. I made so many new friends, and I think, yeah, as a young girl, I remember watching the 2012 Olympics and being like, I want to do that, and I want to compete for my country. And I didn't realise that Paris would be my first Olympics. I thought maybe LA could be, but yeah, roll on Paris. I went to Paris Olympics, and it was amazing. the best event in the world, and I was so lucky to be a part of that and ride on the world stage and feel the nerves and feel the pressure and ride with such amazing athletes, and I loved it. It's such a unique event, and for athletes, like not many people get to go, not many people even get to have medals, so for us to even get a medal is incredible.
Yeah, and likewise, was it always a dream for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like, similar to Emma, like, started when I was 8, and then I also watched them in 2012 and was like, yeah, that would be really cool to do that. I mean, yeah, never thinking, oh, you'd actually do it, but you can always, yeah, just dream of doing that. So to actually get there was, yeah, honestly amazing. And the experience, yeah, it's hard to explain what it was like, but it was, yeah, incredible. And just makes you want to do another one, like, yeah, working hard to get to that next one.
Now you mentioned that you started cycling around the age of 8. Was that the first time you competed? Oh, not competed. First time you cycled competitively, or was that just when you started at Toy Riders?
I think I started competing. I think I started riding back maybe like 6 or 7 at home, and then I think I competed for Toy Riders as a club. Maybe about 8 or 9, around that age. Yeah, I did my first competition. I think it was in Pembrey, on a pink bike with tassels on it, riding in the mud, in the rain, and I absolutely loved it, and I love being part of Toy Riders. It's such an amazing club, and we're so thankful, like, coming back today that it's still going, and we wouldn't be where we are without that club. And yeah, I loved it. My brother and sister actually came with me, and we made so many friends, so yeah, I'm really grateful to start there, and it got me on my journey to where I am now.
My daughter's Becca just turned 10 today, and she just joined Toy Riders.
She's going on the Belgium.
Yeah, well, she's
Yeah.
had the first one. She absolutely fell in love with it.
It's amazing.
A bit of a dare there as well. And how about you? Do you remember the first time you actually got on a bike? And what did it feel like?
Well, I think I was about 3 when I actually first rode a bike, so I can't quite remember that, but I guess, yeah, similar to Emma, like 8 and I started racing. And I think it's, yeah, like the freedom it gives you, like, yeah, you just get on a bike and pedal hard and go fast. And like I said, like, we started with like cyclocross, which is like kind of like mountain biking, but you're on like a road bike with like knobbly tyres on, and you just ride in a field in the mud, like just having fun, like on a Sunday afternoon, like you go to these races around Wales, and it was just, yeah, something exciting to do while you were young, like doing it with your friends, and it just kind of started from there. Like, it wasn't really anything serious, and then yeah, you just kind of get the bug for it and keep doing it.
Jess, of course, is an endurance rider. She's able to transition quite easily into road cycling. She's had a fair bit of success as well with the road. But has it always been track for you?
I actually started off as an endurance rider, so I did cyclocross, like Jess was saying. I did quite a lot of road. That was kind of my journey into the sport, obviously watching the Tour de France.
On SLC, of course?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so that was kind of my way in, and then sprinting for me kind of came a bit later on. So I was 16 when I first started sprinting. I was the type of rider in the group that would sprint at the end of the race, and I wouldn't really do much in the race because that was kind of my way to win the race. So I did that, and then I started going down the avenue of track sprinting and having idols like Victoria Pendleton and Becky James, who's obviously Welsh, and she's had massive success. So yeah, my way in was a little bit different. Started off endurance, and then took my avenue on sprinting, and I loved it. I love the fast pace. I love how quick it is. I loved all of it, and I loved, yeah, just a different side of track cycling, and yeah, that's why I got into sprinting.
The 3 medals around Emma's neck as well, of course, 3 medals from 1 Olympic Games. The first lady since 1964, under the name here now, Mary Rand was the last lady to win 3 medals at 1 Olympics. That's quite an achievement. Did you expect to lead with 3?
I think going into the Olympics, you go in as a goal as an athlete to win. Like, I wanted to come away with 3 gold medals. I guess I'm not shy of that, but to actually do it is another, like, so hard. Like, I had people in interviews saying she's going to win 3, and do you know how hard it is to win 1? Like, it's crazy, and I think, yeah, afterwards I didn't realise that was a statistic. I remember coming afterwards to commentate, and they mentioned that, and I was like, oh wow, like, I didn't realise I'd made history. And I think for me, I just took each race that came, and you after winning the gold medals, I had 2 more events, which was really hard for me at the time. It was my first Olympics, and yeah, I took one race at a time, and then I got a bronze medal, and I knew I had 1 more event, and I was like, I'm going to leave everything I can on the track and like just race my heart out, and yeah, to get another bronze medal. These feel like 3 goals to me, and I'd love to do better again in LA, but it's really hard, and we train our whole lives to do this, and I'm really, really proud to come away with these, and yeah, to how I raced on the track and to conduct them myself, I'm really proud, and hopefully I can build on that success.
You mentioned there that you do train incredibly hard and dedicate your lives to your sport. And the next question is actually from Assault Penboy and Furness, both the same questions really. Jess, how many hours a week do you invest into your training? I imagine it differs slightly because you have different strengths and disciplines, but what would your standard week be in training?
Yeah, so I guess like hours on the bike would be like 15 to 20 hours. On a training camp it can go up to like 25 to 30, like in a week, it depends what I'm doing. So it'll be a mixture of like gym, track sessions, road rides, turbo sessions. We also have like a treadmill where like, the bike goes on the treadmill, we have sessions on there. So like I have quite a lot of variety in my training, which I really like. So yeah, you're always doing something different, I guess. But like the track sessions can be, well, they're about a 3-hour track session, but you're not riding for that whole time. But sometimes yeah, you can be at the track from like 9 till 6. Like gym session in the morning, track session in the afternoon. So yeah, it's quite a lot of variability. Sometimes I can be out on bike for 5 hours, out on the road. So like it's very different. But yeah, we both work really hard, and like I guess that's what we gotta do. And I love the day-to-day process of training, and trying to push yourself each day. That's what I love about the sport. So it is hard, but nothing good is ever easy. So yeah.
Well said, well said. And obviously, you mentioned previously that you're living together. So does your timetable correspond? Are you quite similar, or are you really shorter?
Yeah, a little bit shorter. We actually don't do much, if any, training together, to be honest. So Jess has a lot of hours. Sorry?
Just so.
Yeah, we socialise. We can't see each other. Jess has a lot of hours on the bike, like she just said. Whereas my training is quite specific in terms of I'm at the track every day. So I do a lot of gym because of power-based athletes. Like I need to be explosive, I need to train weights, I need to have bigger legs. So yeah, we train a lot in the gym. So Monday could look like I go to the gym 9 till 11:30, and then we have our lunch, and then I'll be on the track 2 till 5. Obviously not doing the whole 3 hours, but I'll do specific efforts, shorter efforts, and that's typically my week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'll be at the track, and then we do a little bit of aerobic because yes, sprinting is short, punchy, but also at the Olympics I race 6 days in a row, and you need to be able to keep going and keep those really big efforts. You need to continue to do them throughout the week. So yeah, we do different training, but we're very different athletes. But yeah, back at home it's really nice to come back and speak about our days because we have very different days, so it's nice to talk about that, and yeah.
Now, obviously you've represented Great Britain, but this question is coming from table stands. You've also, of course, both represented Wales. Does it differ? Does it feel any different to be wearing that red of Wales?
Yeah, I guess it is different. Like, so the Commonwealth Games, I just love riding to Wales, and that's the only opportunity you get to do that. And I guess it's like a different feel. It's kind of like more, it's like going back to like, brings more of like your childhood back, because like that's where it started in Wales, and it's quite a close-knit community with Welsh cycling, and yeah, the Commonwealth Games is always really high on what we want to do, so that's always really special.
I suppose you're in that little bubble of all Welsh sheep as well.
Yeah, we're quite a small nation, and obviously as Jeff said, we don't get to compete for Wales very often. I actually competed my first Commonwealth Games in London, closest to home as it will get, and I think I remember receiving my jersey, my Welsh jersey, and it's really special because you don't get many times to wear it, and we are quite a small group, but we had a really successful previous Commonwealth Games, and it's so special to have, because we come away from the British cycling programme. My coach was Rachel James at the time, and Becky James' sister, she actually took us under her wing, and it's really special, like just having that, different pathway into it, having our own little group, being together, riding in our Welsh kit, and it's an amazing opportunity, and I always will love to do Commonwealth Games, it's really special.
Now, have a when now we've got in touch with what next? What are we aiming for now? What's on the horizon? I'm just going to pick one in there. Is it the Track Champions League, I imagine?
Yeah.
So now, we had the Olympic Games, and then we actually went to the World Championships, which was really fun. It was really successful for Team GB, and now we're both going to compete in the upcoming Track Champions League this winter, which is a really fun event. It's really fast paced. It gives an insight track cycle, which is quite different to major competitions. So it's really exciting. I love that event. And then I'll have some time off personally just after the games to reset, I guess. And then the next coming years we have the World Championships every year and European Championships. So that's something we'll both aim for. And then obviously the big one being LA, but there's a long way to go since then. There's 4 years, and I really want to work on myself and work on myself off the bike, also on the bike, and see what I love, because obviously I am a track cyclist and I love cycling, but also there are other avenues that I want to pursue, such as maybe media or things like that, and grow as a person as well off the bike. So it's a long way, but we have a few goals coming up.
You have a very bright future. Hopefully you're very, very natural, I think, in front of audience. So I'm sure you have a very bright future off the bike. But we still have plenty of years left to concentrate on winning more medals. We mentioned LA in 4 years' time. Are you as athletes seriously thinking that far ahead now, are you?
Yeah, definitely. Even at Paris, I was like, I want to do this again. You do just kind of, look to that next thing. I guess that's why we do it, we love it. So, I guess, like I said before, I love the process of, getting ready for competitions like that, and how Team GB came together to support you. It's incredible the support we get, and the results make it all worth it. But enjoying the process is a big thing that I focus on as well, and that helps results come. We definitely look towards that, but you've got to have those second serves in between to get in there.
I've been quite lucky over the last 10 years or so. I've been working for SSC following the Tour de France off the back of Geraint Thomas's success, of course. Fantastic seeing new talent coming through as well on the road for Wales. But we actually, SSC, will be following you guys at the Track Champions League. So we will be broadcasting live and highlights from Paris in 2 weeks' time, Appledore, and in London. So we will be catching up.
Exciting.
Laurie Thomas, a friend of yours, will be involved, and as well. So it's both on the track and on the road at the moment. There's so much talent coming through, and SSC are very excited about following your journey now over the coming years. Now, disappointment and setbacks. We all have them along the way. As athletes, as elite athletes, how do you cope with them?
It is part of our sport. You have injuries. I've had a few injuries when I moved on to the programme at 18. I had a knee injury and a hip injury, and that's all part of the process. And I think for us as athletes, setbacks are really hard. But like what we've been talking about, having those goals, and we have massive support in British cycling for a big rehab programme and a structure to get back to where we were. And they're part of our sport, and you have to learn to accept that. And I think I luckily in my career I haven't had too many setbacks, so it's been quite smooth. But the few I've had have been pretty hard, but you have the support around you and use that, and you create a goal. I like to have the light at the end of the tunnel to say, now I've been injured, I like to have a little structure to be like, okay, we're going to be back here in a couple of months' time, and that's what you're working towards, and we're really grateful to have the support around us. But setbacks are, they're part of life, and they're part of your career, and you just got to learn to adapt to the situation and move on.
And if you're lucky, have you had a few more setbacks along the way? Or?
So I actually took a break from cycling back in 2021. Yeah, I ended up having about 6 months off the bike. Yeah, so I had a bit of an injury, but also just mentally was struggling a bit, and yeah, I don't mind talking about that. Things have just, yeah, got a bit hard, and if I hadn't taken that break, I definitely would have quit the sport. So, yeah, it's definitely been a bumpy ride for me to get here, but I wouldn't change any of it, like that break. Brought a new perspective for me on sport and just how I approach the sport, I guess. And I think setbacks are what make everything worth it. Like, I wouldn't change what happened. Those hard times. Yeah, I had about a year of quite a lot of struggles, but yeah, I just think for anyone, just get that support network around you that helps you through that, and you can get through anything. Yeah, but they definitely, yeah, in sport you always have them, but they make everything so worth it, and it's just how you learn to deal with them and how you get out of them. Yeah.
You mentioned there about you've got to know where to turn. Family, that network is always very important. But Welsh Cycling as well, were they quite supportive during that period?
Yeah, definitely. Like, they've always supported us through our careers. Like, obviously the Commonwealth Games as well. They're always there for us there. And yeah, if we ever needed anything, they're there for us. So the support around is amazing. And like you say, family, like, that's one of my main support networks. And same with them. I like, yeah, family are everything, so they get you through those tough times.
Because there's a huge amount of sacrifice, not just from you girls for the training, the dedication you have to show towards that, reaching those goals, but also friends, family, you rely on so many other people. Is there any single person or a few people perhaps you could